All right, welcome back. You're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW. We provide our listeners with information from business professionals to bring solutions to your daily life and local charities to provide you with the opportunities to give back to your community as well. And today we are here with Kalyn Nilsson. Kalyn has been a part of the PAWS team since 2012 in various capacities as a volunteer and staff member. She joined the PAWS foster care team in January of 2016 and has really found her calling working with the young and old and sick animals of PAWS. Initially hired as an adoption advisor at Cat City, she moved into the foster department in January 2016 as a foster care assistant and has loved it ever since. Kalyn has really found her calling working with the animals at PAWS. Kalyn has 2 cats that call her mom. They really call you mom?
I mean, they meow at me.
Oh, they meow mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Both of which were fosters before, and she decided to adopt them. Benny and Tribble.
Tribble.
They're the best friends.
They are. They love each other.
Welcome, Kalyn.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm okay. I've never been on the radio before, but...
You have a great voice for radio.
Oh, thank you.
So will you tell us a little bit about PAWS? What's PAWS mission?
So we have multiple missions, but our biggest mission is to, 1, adopt out homeless cats and dogs to loving families, rehabilitate and release injured, sick, and orphaned wild animals. We actually have a wildlife hospital as well. And we educate and advocate on behalf of the animals. We do a lot of education programs at our shelter as well.
Wow, what kind of wild animals do you have?
Lots of different kinds. I don't know the number specifically, but there have been like thousands of different species. We've done, I've got a number coming this way, 250 species.
Wow.
Different species. So we do baby birds, there's a lot of baby animals, especially during the springtime. Squirrels, raccoons, we have deer, sometimes we have bears. I
You
think
have
we have
bears?
bears right now.
Do people bring them to you, or how do you get these animals?
Well, with the wild animals, a lot of times it's people who are bringing, like a bird falls out of a tree in their backyard or something, and they bring it into us. A lot of the bears and the bigger wild animals come from
like animal control?
Yeah, animal control or the wildlife, like Fish and Wildlife Department, sort of thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
That is. I never would have thought that. So how big is your organization? How many employees do you guys have?
I don't know. 80.
80?
80.
Okay.
These numbers just keep popping
I know,
to
they
me
keep
magically.
popping into me.
It's
Yeah,
like nice.
we have quite a few on both sides. Both our companion, so we have 3 different departments: our companion animal services, which is where I work, as well as our wildlife rehabilitation group, and then our development and community relations. Those are the people who do our education, the people who arrange things like this, and fundraising, that kind of thing for our capital campaign and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what is your guys' vision for PAWS?
So our kind of motto, the thing that shows up on all of our logos, is people helping animals. We're the kind of people who we delight in the company of having, a companion animal, whether that's a cat or a dog. We send out eagles back into the wild after they've been rehabbed, or, tiny bunnies, things like that.
Bunnies.
And like you guys, I'm sure, we understand that animals enrich our lives in multiple facets, whether that's a companion or having a wildlife in general. And we also know that they can't speak for themselves and they need our help and our protection. And this is why PAWS brings together people like all of us, as well as ensuring, animals that they have a safe space to be when they need a safe space, as well as having a voice for, just finding their homes or going back to where they originally were.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Let's say I want to be a foster parent of an animal. What does that entail?
We do fostering for a ton of different kinds of animals. So,
Oh, really? More than cats and dogs?
well, we do, I guess, different aspects of cats and dogs.
Oh, okay.
So we do cats and dogs, but sometimes we have, kittens and puppies. Sometimes we have mommy animals who are raising their babies. We've got cats who have a cold or dogs who have a cold. We're actually doing a surgery on a dog today at our shelter who it's called an FHO surgery. I don't know what that is longer, but essentially she's getting part of her hip bone taken out to help her walk better, which is actually the first FHO that we've done at our shelter. And so she'll go into a foster home to rehabilitate and really work those muscles to get to a place where she can use that leg. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to keep it.
Okay.
So foster homes help do all that sort of thing, which is
And
great.
then what happens when they're all healed? Then what?
Then they go and find their new homes, whether it's with their foster home, which sometimes does happen, or, we put them up for adoption at our shelter. And the rate of animals that are getting adopted is such a high rate. Dogs don't tend to stay for more than a few days, and neither do cats. And so kittens, the day after they get their spay-neuter surgery, they're available for adoption, and they get adopted almost the same day.
I was going to say there's probably not a lot of fostering of puppies because they're gone the minute they come in, right? Because everybody wants a puppy.
Our puppies do go to foster care for about 2 weeks.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, we like to make sure that they don't get sick. And so there's a pretty serious disease called parvo. It's something that we track. And so we send them to foster for 2 weeks under puppy quarantine, air quotes. And it's basically to make sure that they don't have that disease. And it's to protect them from being in a shelter environment as well as protecting us from potentially having that. So they go to quarantine or puppy school, essentially, in a foster home for 2 weeks. And then when they come back, they get spayed and neutered. And yes, they don't stay very long at all either.
Wow. I want to foster a puppy for 2 weeks and then give it back.
Well, that's what I thought we were going to do, too, when we decided to be foster parents, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago.
Well, your number keeps going up. You started at 3.
It was 7 years ago. Now I just remembered the timeline. It was 7 years ago, and we still got her.
Yeah, I think you adopted her.
We adopted her because, it's just, what you said earlier, that's called a failed.
Yeah.
Failed foster.
A failed foster, right?
Fail. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I call it foster fail. Or, you become their forever family.
Yes, so it's all actually positive in the end,
yeah.
right? So what's the greatest need that PAWS has?
We're always looking for foster homes, but we have 3 kind of categories that we are always continuing trying to recruit for. And that's our mommy dogs. So dogs come in various different sizes, and cats are usually one general size. Mommy cats are pretty easy to send to foster homes, but mommy dogs, we can have a Chihuahua with a bunch of little babies, or you could have a pit bull that's got 6, 7, 8 puppies.
Wow.
The amount of space required for those is different, and so we're always looking for people who want to take those sort of situations in. We also get a decent amount of kittens who have ringworm. Ringworm is kind of a scary sounding disease, but it's not that hard to treat. It's a skin fungus, so it lives on the body, on the fur. And the only reason it takes a long time for them to get better is because the spores live on the body. So it's a longer process. It's a little bit more in depth, but it's something that is really rewarding for all of our foster homes who do treat for it. I personally have had to treat for ringworm, and it wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy, and it was worth it in the end because I got to keep my cat. So, and then our third one is large dogs. We do get quite a few dogs from Texas and California, and they're just bigger and require a little bit more space. And so
what kind of dog breeds are you?
Excuse me, cattle dogs. We do actually do a lot of pit bull rescue. So that that sort of size, large labs, things like that.
Okay.
And the bigger dogs are just harder to find foster homes for because some people don't think that they have enough space for them. So they don't require a ton of space, just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A neighborhood to walk them around.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. Our dog's not, I wouldn't say big. Would you say Sam's not that big, right?
He's on the bigger side.
Yeah.
Medium, large.
Yeah. And we got him when we lived in an apartment, and he was huge. He had these, his paws were so big and his face was humongous. We took him to the pet store, and they're like, you need an extra large crate. This is going to be a humongous dog. So, yeah.
He never grew into his head.
He didn't grow into his head. But
that's the best.
You just walk him. We had him in an apartment, and he's 11 now. But, yeah, we rescued him, too. So you don't have to have a lot of space for a big
You
dog.
don't. No.
Nope.
Nope. So what other yeah. So if let's say you're fostering, can I have like kids? Can I foster a dog if I have kids?
Absolutely.
A puppy for
Yeah.
2 weeks?
So a lot of our foster families are actually families. So it's the whole. A lot of foster families have their children participate in caring for the animal, and so it's nice because they want to volunteer, but they're maybe not old enough. You have to be 18 to volunteer at the shelter specifically, but you don't have to be 18 to foster an animal. So what we do is we have a lot of families who care for our kittens, puppies, dogs, cats, and they come in and pick somebody out, and then they take them home for the amount of time they are required to go out to foster, and then they bring them back. And the kids really enjoy having that time, especially with young animals. They get to socialize them, which is really nice for those guys.
That's sweet. That's so
yeah,
sweet.
it seems like it's a kind of a win-win, right?
It
Yeah.
is,
Both.
yeah. Yeah, because it gives the little guys, like, we can tell adopters these kittens have lived with dogs or children or whatever. So it's nice to give that perspective to them.
And what if you have like an animal? So I have Sam. Can I still foster?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try to just match the best possible match with you. I have, 2 cats. If I wanted to foster kittens, I would keep those kittens separate. But we get lots of people who have dogs, and what we do is we can do dog-to-dog meets before you take that animal home for foster. But we also try to match, like, okay, you have a big dog. Maybe your dog gets along better with little dogs, and this dog doesn't have a preference.
Right.
So we can definitely do that and work with that too.
You could totally do that because Sam gets along with everybody.
I know.
We couldn't.
No, your dogs are kind of psycho.
Crazy.
Kind of crazy. Yeah, I could. I'm like serious. I
So
want a puppy.
if Sarah wanted to do that, like, what do people have to do if they want to become a foster parent?
So they would go to our website, PAWS.org. There's a tab called Get Involved on there, and you can learn all about how to get involved as a volunteer as well as become a foster parent. There's a whole separate page for fostering. We have an application. You fill out the application, and then you would sign up for an orientation to learn more about fostering and how it works. We do a little bit of training on what's expected of a foster parent, what sort of placements there are, and then as soon as we get the background check back, then you can become a foster parent. It's a pretty easy process.
Oh, background check.
I think I passed. I'm pretty sure I have to have a background check for my license
I
to
think
be a
so,
lender.
too. That's funny.
So what else is unique about PAWS?
I think my biggest thing is, we're the only animal welfare organization in this region that has kind of both companion animals as well as being able to rehabilitate wildlife. So we have a comprehensive mission that encompasses compassion for animal adoptions, being able to find perfect matches for those guys, as well as wildlife rehab, community outreach, and education, just making sure that we're trying to encourage people to spay and neuter their pets, and that starts with the children, which is why we do a lot of really great education programs as well.
What type of education programs? You mean like aside from the fostering program, do you guys have like other?
We do,
process?
yeah. We take a lot of like Girl Scout troops and homeschool groups and things like that come to the shelter, and they learn. Sometimes they learn about wildlife and how to just help wildlife live in their environment. Sometimes they are learning about, how to care for their pets or what it takes to care for a pet. So that's a pretty cool opportunity. And there's all that info on our website as well.
Oh, that's neat. So what do you guys need? I mean, you're a nonprofit, right? So do you guys do any fundraising coming up, or
We just
do people
had
donate?
one of our big fundraisers, PAWS Walk. It's our kind of like 5K. Well, we instituted a 5K this year, and it's a big fundraiser for us. And it's always in like August, September, and then we have Wild Night. Wild Night. Wild Night is April 7th. So
Okay.
Wild Night is another big fundraiser for us. It's a little bit more like you purchase a table or you purchase a seat at a table, and there's an auction, and it's all to raise money for PAWS. And there's a lot of really great auction items. We have a lot of amazing people who donate stuff to us. And at Wild Night, Foster brings puppies for a puppy photo and kissing opportunity. And we also do
Puppy kisses.
and we also do what's called the kitten kissin' booth. And so we bring kittens, and with a small donation, you can go in and visit with the kittens and give them lots of kisses. And you can also always donate on our website, PAWS.org, or we get a lot of people who come into both of our locations and make donations as well.
Perfect.
Where are you guys located?
We are located in Linwood, Washington. We're kind of tucked away in the suburbs, but there's a big orange sign.
Okay.
And then we have our Cat City location in the U District right along Roosevelt, right before you get into the University District itself.
Okay.
And
So do you keep your cats and your dogs at two separate places then?
No,
or-
so we have cats and dogs at our Linwood shelter, and then we have cats only at our Cat City location. So Cat City is just an adoption facility, so we don't do any stray services or anything there, but it's really to just we have colonies, so all of our cats hang out in a colony situation with other cats. It's a great way for people who already have a cat at home to get an idea of whether or not they could find a cat that could potentially be a good match for them, and they all live there, and a lot of our kittens get adopted out of there as well.
I see.
Wow. That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
It was really good to hear about all the puppies.
And puppy breath
and
kisses.
puppy kisses. Thank you for tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back, we're going to have the Riley Johnson Team Market Update. And today we're going to discuss why there are so few homes for sale. To find out about topics discussed on today's show, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.